Customer states. These two simple words, almost universally, are found at the beginning of nearly every work order I have handled throughout my career. What follows is either a detailed complaint that directs me swiftly to the symptom in need of attention, or an ambiguous concern like steering doesn't feel right or funny smell. When that description is vague, it's a direct hit to your efficiency. It forces you to burn time on the discovery phase of a repair that should have been handled during the write-up. In a flat rate environment, every minute you spend playing guess the noise is a minute you aren't turning wrenches or booking hours. Welcome back to Technician Level Up. Today we're talking about the habits that eliminate miscommunication between service advisors and technicians to maximize workflow and ensure you have all the relevant info before you even get into the car. When a customer brings their car into a shop, they're accepting that they need your expertise to get their vehicle back into working order. But for that expertise to be profitable, the communication between the front and the back of the house has to be precise. That precision starts the second you pick up the keys. I call this the customer interrogation. Too often we treat the service advisor as a delivery person. They drop off the RO, we take the keys, and we head to the lot. But if that RO is vague, you are essentially volunteering your own time to do the advisor's job for them. To protect your workflow, you need to challenge the RO before you even walk out to the car. Don't leave the front desk until you've extracted these 5 pieces of information. The duplication profile. This eliminates the no symptom found. Don't go out there and wander the parking lot hoping the symptom decides to show up. You need parameters. Ask, did the customer say if this only happens on a cold start or only after 20 minutes of highway driving? Is it constant or is it only when stopped in gear? If the advisor doesn't know, stay at the desk while they check. It's faster for them to spend 2 minutes on the phone than for you to spend 30 minutes driving a car that won't duplicate the symptom. The service history. You need to know if you are the first person looking at this, or the third. Ask, has this been here before for the same issue? Or did the customer mention another shop trying to fix this already? Knowing if there's new parts on the car changes your diagnostic path immediately. Don't inherit someone else's headache without knowing it. The investment goal. Match the repairs to the customer's expectations. You need to know how deep the customer is willing to go. Ask, on this misfire code, did the customer mention a budget? If it's just a set of spark plugs, we're in business. But if my diag leads to a burnt valve, are they actually prepared for a $3,000 engine repair? Knowing the goal prevents you from wasting unbillable time on a deep dive teardown for a car that's a guaranteed no before you even start. The hard deadline. Protect your base schedule. There's nothing worse than getting a car half apart only to find out that the customer needs it back by 3 p.m. for a school run. Ask, what's the actual hard stop time for this car? If I find a major issue, do they have a rental or are they waiting in the lobby? This tells you if you have time to do a proper teardown or if you need to prioritize just quickly identifying the issue and building an estimate. The workflow accountability. Keep the lift moving. If the info isn't there and the advisor is too slammed to get it to you, you have to protect your bay. Say, I'm going to leave this RO here and finish up my current job while you call the customer for those details. Once you have all the info, let me know and I'll pull it in. This isn't about being difficult. It's about being billable. By pausing the workflow, you put the ball back in the advisor's court and keep your lift turning. Efficiency doesn't stop at the service desk. Once you've cleared the interrogation, your next hurdle is the parts counter. The car is up, the subframe is dropped, and you realize the same day part they sent has a 4-pin connector when you need a 6. Now you're dead in the water, and you've got a paperweight on your lift. The goal is to verify fitment while the car is still mobile, not after it's disabled. Before you commit to the teardown, you need to challenge the parts order just like you challenged the RO. Don't ask for a water pump for a 2018 F-150. Say, I've verified the VIN and the build date. I need the pump, but I need you to verify the pulley bolt hole count matches this picture of the old one. Use your phone. It's often the most underutilized tool in your box. Photograph the old part next to the new part before you even think about bringing the new part to the car. If it's wrong, you catch it in 30 seconds, not after an hour of struggling with a bolt hole that doesn't line up. Make sure you plan your repair and stay ahead of upsell opportunities. Say things like, I'm doing this water pump, but the tensioner feels gritty and the coolant freeze point is no longer within specification. I don't want to wait on a hotshot driver if this becomes an upsell. By staying ahead of the parts department, you aren't just a technician, you're a project manager. And project managers don't lose billable hours to delivery delays. Once the diag is done, you have to relay that info to the front. This is where many techs drop the ball. They write brakes smoked or dumping oil. These aren't descriptions, they're opinions. And opinions are hard to sell. To get that job approved fast, you need data-driven storytelling. You need to turn your tech notes into the advisor's most powerful sales tool. Eliminate the back and forth. If the advisor has to keep coming back to your toolbox to ask 20 different questions, you're losing money. Use the condition, cause, correction format. Instead of needs breaks, write condition. Found 2 mm of pad material remaining with heat glazing on the rotors. Cause, normal friction wear over 40,000 miles. Correction, replace pads and resurface rotors to restore factory stopping distance and safety. Next, speak to the customer's wallet. Give the advisor the save and safety facts. Say, if we're doing the timing belt now, the labor for the water pump is already covered. It saves the customer $400 in future labor costs by combining the jobs today. When you provide the narrative, the advisor doesn't have to guess. They just read your notes, the job sells faster, the parts get ordered sooner, and your lift stays moving. At the end of the day, this is about ownership. Ownership of your bay, your schedule, and ultimately your paycheck. We tend to think of communication as extra work or paperwork. It's not. Communication is a tool, just like a high-end scan tool or a calibrated torque wrench. If you don't maintain your tools, they fail you. If you don't maintain your communication, your workflow fails you. Let's review. Challenge the RO. Conduct the interrogation before you take the keys. Verify the parts. Pivot to precision to avoid dead bays. Write the story. Use the narrative to sell the job for the advisor. Communication isn't an interruption to your work. It is the framework that allows you to do your work. When you control the information, you control your hours. I'm Noah, and this is Technician Level Up. I'll see you on the next one.